All right, so Jeskai Tempo here. So this is a deck that we played a bunch of before Stoneforge Mystic was unbanned. So we played a little bit more top end. We had another Vendilion Clique, and we had some Restoration Angels at the top end. Now we've got 4 Stoneforge Mystics in here, along with a Sword of Light and Shadow to rebuy our various creature threats, as well as a Batterskull here to let Stoneforge just be a pretty quick clock on its own. The sideboard's been revamped. We're able to cut surgical extractions because graveyard decks took a hit with Faithless Looting going away. You'll note here that I have kept 2 copies of Ashiok Dream Render, and the reason why I've left this card in is it's pseudo graveyard hate that's still reasonable if the graveyard decks are slower, so we have some graveyard hate still. And this card's static ability is very good against Red-Green Valakut as well as Amulet Titan. So I think leaving in a couple copies of Ashiok is super, super reasonable because it gives us some small amount of graveyard hate while also giving us some flexibility in other matchups. I've noticed your sword of choice is Light and Shadow. Why is that your sword of choice? Instead of me telling you you're wrong for your sword choices, tell me why you think I should play something that's not Sword of Light and Shadow. Why is Light and Shadow the best? Why isn't Light and Shadow the best? In order for me to tell you why you're wrong, or why I feel I'm right, I need to know where you're coming from. What protects against all removal? Hey, AJ Sims, thanks for the 50 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Should be playing Sword of Dungeons and Dragons, right? That sounds fine. You need some more lands, but we have an op, so that's probably a land if we're lucky. I think Sword of Feast and Famine might be a great choice if you have mana, since you'll have mana on their turn to play all your instant speed spells. What am I tapping out for on my turn? Why do I need more mana? Like, this deck does not generate incredible amounts of card advantage. So, like, it feels unnecessary to, like, need to double up my mana. In a deck like this, I figure Fire and Ice would be better value than returning creatures. You think drawing a random card is better than picking up one of my awesome creatures from my graveyard? I'd also argue there aren't that many... Oh, they did name Goblin. I'd also argue there aren't that many creatures in this format that die to a shock. He says as he plays against goblins. Yeah, people were playing Crater Maker before Stoneforge was unbanned. I have good news. Either Spreading Seas or Teferi is good here. You're not wrong. Yeah, this sequence is definitely great, right? Like, if they play something I want to Queller, I Queller them. If they don't play something I want to Queller, I get to just activate Stoneforge Mystic. No, I don't think you need to play Surgical Extraction in a world without Faithless Looting. I think that sword is narrow and bad. What's the word I'm searching for? Sword of Light and Shadow is basically protection from Bolt. And it protects from Path and other things. So I think I think that one is much better. So this checks the number of goblins on resolution. So I'm going to go ahead and bolt one of their goblins here in response so my 4/4 doesn't die. Yeah, almost every sword is protection for bolt for most creatures. Yeah, but like, if your creature with the sword is hitting their face, your creature with the sword could just hit their walker. So that seems unnecessary and bad. Yeah, with Light and Shadow, I can just rebuy. The swords don't trigger on the walker face, no. But, like, if your trigger is just killing the walkers, like, I guess it's okay if you're in exactly a racing situation. But if you're not in a racing situation, it's like... Again, I feel like the situations where that's profitable to be doing are just kind of narrow overall. Yeah, Ringleader's a good one. Unfortunately, my opponent has an Aether Vial on 3 here. So, probably not going to have the option to, Actually, I'm probably clicking them in response to this vial. So, in fact, in response to this vial trigger, I'm going to click them. Because, I don't want them to, like, have a land and, like, just play it for the turn either. Or, like, wait to do this. I just want to take the initiative here, I think. Yikes. Alright, there's the main deck Trash Master. I think taking Trash Master is better than taking Ringleader here. Of course, that means their Ringleader is going to find Trash Master plus something else, because that's how this works, but we'll see. Yeah, there's a Goblin Matron which finds Trash Master. I think Goblins was one of the decks that gained the most. I found it really funny that Jim Davis was like banning. That Jim Davis like posted an article talking about how he feels banning what's it called was a mistake. Faithless Looting, when like banning Faithless Looting gave his pet deck a huge leg up. In fact, I'm going to concede this match. There's a lot of decks that I want to play today, and playing matchups where we're incredibly unfavored, it just doesn't sound fun. So, rather than like try and play through someone that's playing a bunch of main deck hate cards for what we're doing, I'm just going to move on to the next one. Think that the Goblins matchup was bad for this is exactly the type of deck that Goblins is looking to beat up on. So, were we not winning that match if we suited up Spell Queller? So, my opponent had Goblin Matron, which lets them search their deck for any Goblin, and Goblin Matron fetches Goblin Trash Master, and Goblin Trash Master lets them sacrifice Goblins to kill both my artifacts. So for people that are confused why I conceded there, my opponent was going to Trash Master us the following turn. No, they have Goblin Matron, B-Mick. This hand could be anything. You're not wrong. Listen, I heard from a very credible source that Batterskull and Stoneforge Mystic make traditional aggro decks that are attacking with creatures very bad in this format. So I can only assume we're going to win this and it's not going to be close. Really need to draw Lightning Helix to have a chance here. Probably dead regardless. The fact that we didn't have a way to fetch a basic planes there is a big deal. Oh, am I dead? I'm actually just dead on board, right? Yeah, we're actually just dead on board. This is good old-fashioned turn 3 kill you. That's fine. The Helix wasn't coming anyways, chat. Alright, so Spreading Seas out. Teferi Time Raveler out. And a Veto out. Seems fine. Actually, Clique's pretty bad. I'm going to leave a couple of the Vetoes in, so we can counter their bolts and their Goblin Grenades. Yeah, I think Abzan Blade's fine. There's, it's not in the stream title, but if we have time to get through the 3 decks I have listed there, which, if this is, oh, Purge is good. Yeah, Purge should be in my deck. If we have time to get through the 3 decks in the stream title, Abzan Blade's gonna be the next one. Matchup where Field of Ruin is notably not fixing. Does it take 10 hours to play 4 decks on MTGO? Well, 5 technically, but yeah, if you play, for instance, the deck before this where we played the entire league through, it took close to 2 hours. So between 90 minutes and 2.5 hours is how long it generally takes to play a full league on Magic Online. And playing full leagues on Magic Online costs you actual dollars. It cost me $10 per league that we play. So if a deck's doing okay, I tend to not drop early and play it out to its completion. I think people hoping that Stoneforge Mystic is going to make their decks that were previously bad better are going to be disappointed. I think if your deck was bad before Stoneforge was legal, it's probably still bad after it. Yeah, things like Wurza and Devoted Druid can be awkward, take a while. But I also don't play those decks. a lot of the time because they're tedious like that. Do I want to hold up another Spell Queller or do I want to just jam Stoneforge? I think I'm just going to jam Stoneforge. We're still pretty high. It'd be nice if Moto would stop locking up every time we search our library. It's been a while since we've played... It's been a while since we've played 3 leagues in a row. I wonder how much RAM Moto's using. $2.2 gigawatts. Yikes. Hey, Bulgarian. Thanks for the 2 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one. Kick it. Goblin Grenade, yep. This doesn't surge though, right? Because it technically wasn't cast with a surge cost. If its surge cost was paid, yeah, so it's just a 2-1, right? Did I adjust the mana base for this deck at all? I did not. Do you think I need to adjust my mana base? Why do you think I need to adjust my mana base? What the hell is a gigawatt? It's a Back to the Future reference. For people that don't appreciate pop culture. What Linux distribution is that? This is an Ubuntu 1804 based distribution with the Moksha desktop. It's part of what the Bodhi Linux project that I help maintain ships. How much RAM is a gigawatt? Now that's asking the real questions. How has Stoneforge Mystic felt so far? Underwhelming. It's felt exactly how I've expected it to feel. Look at that. My opponent conceded to Batterskull. They were right. This is oppressive. Hashtag busted. A gigawatt is a billion watts of power. A gigawatt is a unit of time travel. Yeah, this hand's excellent. We get to bolt on 1, and then we get to fetch basic planes and helix on 2. Sign me up. Something as a reminder for some of my regulars that got into the stream while we were playing Arena. While Magic Online does not have a mouse over overlay, keep in mind that you can type !! deck in chat still to get a link to all the cards that we're currently playing. If you're interested in looking up cards that my opponents play, although I do try and point out what they do a lot of the time and zoom in on them, a website like Scryfall is a great resource for looking up cards. Yeah, I agree this is the type of matchup where Stoneforge is ideal. Do I play Stoneforge here? I feel like I want to just Helix this turn. My mana is, in my opinion, designed correctly. If you want to tell me my mana is incorrect, I don't care about your feelings. Give me your facts. Give me your numbers. Say, Jeff, you appear to be short on this metric, and this is why. Scryfall has the best name translator for in-game spoiler season. It really does, Beetle. Thanks for the half a year of support, Hostage. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. So rather than Spell Queller and counter this, I think I'd rather just Spell Queller and try and eat it inside of combat here. Did someone just say Boda? Thanks for the 14 months of support. Hope you're having a good one. Yeah, Legion Loyalist lets you attack through the germ. 10 out of 10. Light them up. They're on fire. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Do, 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 do. Where my Batterskull at? Right there. So this Beaumont Courier is a free draw for them. So they get to attack. I'll block it. Actually, honestly, I'm going to block the Bushwhacker because I think they're probably drawing this card regardless. The 1/2 is a good stat line on this board, to be fair. Alright, and they should just be dead here at this point. They're going to need like 2 or 3 really good cards in a row since I have Veto here to back up this Batterskull. Yeah, I agree, Percy. Well, stage lets you cast it until the next turn, right? So like even if you hit something, you can cast it the next turn. But I think of Stoneforge Mystics inside of Spirits. I think Spirits was bad for a variety of reasons, and I'm not sure that Stoneforge Mystic addresses the reasons why it was bad. Thanks for the 2 months of support, Blade Knight. To be fair, Stoneforge Mystic seemed pretty unbeatable there. I mean, like, my opponent's deck is playing a bunch of 1-mana 1/1s and 2/2s, right? Like, there's a lot of cards their deck can't beat. Stoneforge Mystic certainly makes the list of cards they can't beat. Checking out some of their options over there. See where things are heading. Ah, Jeskai Mia. Oh. So it's gonna be like that, eh, opponent? It's gonna be one of those matches. Is this deck Stacy's mom? So I think we Teferi plus here and hope we don't die to this next turn. And then next turn, we down tick on it. And then we can veto it when they go to recast it. Now, like, if they have bolts here, I'm a little bit sad. Like, if they go bolt, I'm pretty off-put. But I think this is the right sequence. Yeah, I think especially because they didn't have, like, an opt-in response. We just wait. Manamorphose, yep. They could have a bunch of Manamorphose here and do some terrible things to us. I think all of these fringe tier 2 graveyard decks get better because people have less hate cards for them. I'm so confused why they cast Nox. Are they building Storm Count? Are they about to Grape Shot down? Like, Storm Count's the only reason to do that, right? They're gonna Grape Shot down this Teferi? Are they just like Storm with main deck Ascension? Weird. Sure, like, I understand they wanted to stop the bounce chat. The thing I don't understand is they Noxious Revivaled this Manamorphose and then immediately cast another Manamorphose. So I'm like, I'm not sure why that sequencing happened is the question mark in my mind. For people that missed that. I mean, that one's like really hard to misclick. Because, like, you have to, like, click your spell, click your life total, click the thing. Oh, you're saying they clicked the wrong card in their graveyard? I'd believe that. Okay, that makes sense. So I'm in a pretty okay spot here. We get to Helix the Snapcaster Mage, and then we get to Teferi, bounce the Ascension, and then veto it on the way back down. Well, no, so if they didn't have the Bolt and needed the draw, it doesn't make sense to put Manamorphose on top of your deck is the thing I think people are missing. Oh, maybe they thought they could Morphose in response. And then, okay. But there's no reason to do it in response, right? Just to be cute, I guess. Now, a question to ask myself here is, do I want to snap opt and get a clock into play, or do I want to save snap for veto? Do I really want to save snap for veto? Are we sure on that? Okay, I kind of want to kill them. Like, what if they play a thing in the ice? How do I beat a thing in the ice from here? You think I want to snap Helix? I think snap Helix is too aggressive. I think I want a creature in play. If Cryptic Command in their deck? That's wild. It's a little punishing. All right, well now what we're snapping is a decision that's been made for us. It's a good draw. Think I want to hold up Spell Queller? When do you think you'll update the decks on my website? I mean, I'm going to update the ones with Faithless Looting in them by this weekend, but I won't go through and update actual everything, because not that much changes realistically. I already updated Glacial Brand. What other Faithless Looting decks are actually on my site? Does anybody know offhand? Like what actually needs updating because it's no longer legal? Hallowed one? Sure. Hogok's not on my site, I don't think. I don't think I re-added it after they banned Bridge, if I recall. Narset Cannon. Yeah, I'll go through this weekend and update all the other things with Faithless Looting. Shadow has 1 looting in it. Poor Shadow. Next update. Narset. Hollowed one. Hollow Flare. Mardu Pyro. So I took some time during my timeout to look up facts according to Mana Math. And you are correct. Your mana base applies correctly to the mathematics posted there. I want to apologize for inconclusive arguments I made earlier. Thanks, Nancy. I appreciate you actually looking up the data. Generally speaking, especially when even when I haven't built the deck, usually I take the time to like think through what I'm doing and why. Like the answer to the question, Jeff, don't you think this other thing that's very different from what you're doing or different what you're doing is better? The answer is usually no, right? Because like if I thought that other thing was better, I'd probably just be doing it. So like in general, if you want to have a reasonable conversation, you should come at it from the perspective of Jeff, I think this other thing is better and this is why it might be better, and like talk about it that way. Thanks for the 6 months, Snowstorm. I appreciate it. Welcome. What tier 1 decks are dead because looting is gone? I don't think any of them. I think all of them will be weaker, but they'll still exist. And another question to ask yourself is, while they get weaker losing looting, how much better do those decks get from... How much better do those decks get from people having less graveyard hate for them? Yeah, I was thinking about blue-red tempo the other night. We're probably going to play that. Trim Path instead of Helix. Do we think they don't have Thing in the Ice? Yeah, I think there's a chance Dredge is better. I agree. I'll split the difference. Clocking them rather than worrying about Thing in the Ice. Okay, let me respond to your statement with a question. How do I clock them if they flip a creature that sends my board back to my hand? What am I clocking them with? Instead of me telling you why my sword is great, Crockett, can you tell me why my sword is bad? Which sword do you think I should be playing instead, and why should I be playing that sword? Pretty easy mulligan here. Can't cast their spells, has Batterskull in the opener. Seems great. I'm gonna bottom lightning bolts here. We should be playing Bonesaw. We did just get done playing Bonesaw. Force is nice. Lets us counter an Ascension here. Bonesaw would be great on this board. Something like that. Something like that. Yeah, I'm going to take a long, hard look at Twiddlestorm. If I was looking for decks that I really wanted to try and tune and make competitive, I would be taking a very long, hard look at Twiddlestorm. Think that deck is likely very good. It might be right to be a little aggressive here and just snap Opt because this is their Cryptic Command mana this turn. Would have been worth the 2 life to threaten Veto their last turn. No! My opponent's deck's a burn deck, spending 2 life to bluff when I have to spend another 2 life the following turn to cast my 3-drop seems really bad. And again, same kind of logic applies to earlier. Rather than me telling you that, no, I think the play I made is correct, you should make an effort to tell me why you think the play I made is wrong. Why in your mind is it right or worthwhile to do what you're suggesting we do? So we have Celestial Purge, and then 2 copies of the Detention Sphere that can take Pyromancer Ascension away permanently, and then Teferi, which can bounce it temporarily. Yeah, maybe Dingo. I think so. Stoneforge Mystic is making people play more removal for the time being if you expect a lot of these decks. So, like, the deck that's trying to lean into, my mouth is mush. Trying to lean into having creatures in play for your combo to work is less good. Which is, I think, one of the strengths of the Twiddlestorm deck. So we're looking for a Bolt or a Helix here. Ask and you shall receive, chat. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm off to work. Gonna watch the rest on YouTube later. Thanks for the 5 months, Fox. Yep, everything will be up on YouTube as always. Probably won't be up till a little bit later tonight, because I'm planning to be live till about 5 o'clock or so at least. And it takes 3 or 4 hours to process stuff to YouTube. So opponent has Ascension in play, but they don't have many instant sorcerers in their graveyard, so... Message me a list, Philly. We can make it happen. Yeah, no auto tapper is incredibly frustrating. So do they have 1 or 2 instants here to play at end of turn is a question. Probably going to opt rather than Snapcaster Mage. So if I find my way into a 5th land, I get this Batterskull down, which is nice. Dispel. Rude. I probably shouldn't have boarded this out. Their deck's a lot grindier than I was expecting. Little bit of regret there from not knowing exactly what we're playing against. They have a second piece of counter magic here. We're probably dead. The reason to do this in response is I don't want their prowess trigger to happen, and if they have a second dispel, it won't trigger the Ascension. So they got 2 monks out of that, which is pretty good. I'm going to opt here, because if we hit a tapped land, we can put it into play. Huh. Kill your monk cantrip's not a bad turn. Yeah, Stoneforge Mystic and Esper Mentor sounds great. That deck felt it was lacking a second good threat. Feels like an okay inclusion. Jace Vryn's Prodigies, just a good magic card. If they snap Path here, they can kill my Teferi. This notably takes a card out of their graveyard here, which is nice for us. Yeah, I'm not convinced that Dead Guy Ale is better than just playing... I'm really not convinced that Dead Guy Ale is better than just playing Abzan. Like, gaining Assassin's Trophy is pretty huge. It's really unfortunate I boarded out my second equipment. If we go to a game 3, I'm going to put that sword back in my deck. That definitely should be in there. Hey, Wolfie, thanks for the 9 months of support. I appreciate it. Welcome. Yeah, man, your mana bases are just so good in Modern. And we can find that splashing a third color is pretty free. If we can find an answer to this Pyromancer Ascension, we might be okay. If we don't find an answer to the Ascension, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. Generates a lot of value very quickly. Once this card hits 2 counters, it doubles every instant and sorcery they cast for the rest of the game. And this card gets counters by having them cast spells that they've already cast. I'm going to block just so I stay at 9. It's 9. That's 9 versus 7. Yeah, I'm going to go to 7. I think that's fine. If I was going to 6, I think I would... If I was going to 6, I think I would block there. But because I'm going to 7, I think being in triple bolt range is fine. Especially with the Spell Queller in my hand. Yeah, Dead Guy Ale is basically black-white mid-range. The cornerstone of Black Dead Guy Ale is like Dark Confidant plus Stoneforge Mystic, basically. They know I have Spell Queller. So they're casting this Teferi knowing there's a Spell Queller in my hand. Which is a little scary. Sure. No, Dead Guy Ale does not have to have Tidal Sculler in it. Sure, people 5-0 with bad decks all the time. People 5-0 with decks that are worse versions of other things frequently. Bounce my Snapcaster Mage is a strong play. Some people even top 8 with Kiki Chord. Yeah, if I'd have left sort of Light and Shadow in my deck that we'd have been able to search up with the Stoneforge Mystic, like we'd almost certainly be winning this game. I think I want to hold on to Stoneforge. Win an entire tournament. No, I played like 5 matches in a tournament. I won. The one match I won was on camera. But no, we didn't do much winning as an owl. I probably made more money for wearing that owl costume than the person who won the tournament got, so there's that. This many lands and no Celestial Colonnade really sucks. Aggressively mediocre, Panda, as predicted. Oh, they're Manamorphosing, so it's going to trigger this. Yeah, we're pretty done at this point. I'm going to go ahead and pack it in. Is my article up? Let's find out. I'll just direct people to my article. It's going to be up today or tomorrow. Look at that. My editor's great. God, praise be to my editor. I sent this in really late last night, and he published it this morning. Have my thoughts on the modern bands instead of me throwing at them at you in pieces. They don't seem to have thing in the ice. So I'm going to cut 2 more paths, and I'm going to bring in another Helix, mostly because they have Jace the Mind Sculptor in their deck. What's going on, Panda? Thanks for the 16 months. Yeah, I think I'm just going to bring in these Helixes, the extra Helix, bring the sword back in. The rest of this seems fine. I would love to play first. Oh. I heard of the new card game Urgent Saga. Yeah, I demoed it at Gen Con. It's a neat Magic Light game. The fact that it doesn't have a digital component makes it kind of a non-starter for me. I don't really have time to play paper card games. Like, I already have a sword in the opener. I guess the fact that I have a sword with the Stoneforge Mystic is kind of nice. There. Now we have a command for the endless stream of why are you playing this sword questions to encourage people to think critically. I mean, I don't know what you want me to tell you, underdog. Like, you understand what's happened, right? Like, Ferocity is good against the Auroch Field deck. You're not just dead to it because your deck's interactive, but I'd be lying to you. I'd be lying to you if I was to tell you anything other than this makes the deck worse. Does it make it unplayable? Almost certainly not. But it definitely makes it less good. I mean, the game is basically Magic with, like, some extra hoops, and, like, Magic's great, so. Very, very similar to Hex, how Hex was just, like, a great game because it was Magic with some extras. How's Jeskai been going? It's going okay. I think are we 1-1? I think this is match 3. Hey, we're 1-1 in game 3 of match 3. I conceded to Goblins because I didn't feel like playing against Goblins. To set a low bar, this deck is better than the blue-white deck we played today. Yeah. That's a really low bar to clear, though. Yeah, Hex was a really good game. I'm sad they did Kickstarter things. I think you should try Twiddlestorm. Twiddlestorm would be my pick for a blue-red deck in this format. And by that I mean blue-red tempo is the love of my life. Please don't take it away from me. Alright, so really want to draw a Bolt or a Helix next turn. Not really, Niv. Just feels different. Is the part where I get Force of Negation to cry? Oh, I guess if they force me, I can shock in... Oh, I can't because it exiles it too, right? That's such a tilt. I can't even Snap Bolt it now. It's really unfortunate. Oh, I should have waited on that. If they want to trade these two for this, I'm okay. Go. I think the line there was to put the other sword on it with the skull and just kill them. Maybe. I guess I am a turn slower now, huh? I don't know. In my mind, I was going to get to Snap Bolt when I cast the Lightning Bolt. I think you're right, because Force of Negation exiles, I'm supposed to just put the sword on. I have no idea, Ninja Turtle Jr. If I could predict the future, I would do something more potent with it than playing a children's card game. If we get Path to Exiled next turn, I'm going to be really sad. Let's take a peekaboo. Deal. So, they are playing Jace, Bob. They had a copy of Jace earlier. If we get another hit in with the Germ, we'll be in a pretty good spot. So, like, Sword of Fire and Ice would have drawn a card there, but it also just wouldn't have connected, so I guess it wouldn't have. They don't look like an opponent who has it. I would just like to remind everyone that Protection is a fun, interesting, and engaging mechanic that in no way produces rancid gameplay. There's a list. We played it once on YouTube, Wubwin, but I haven't played it enough to have a preferred list currently. How am I liking Modern now? I'm a realistic adult who will tell you that I haven't played enough games of this format to have a good feel for it. I am cautiously optimistic. Yeah, sorry, this isn't a hot takes channel. Unlike myself, an intellectual who's played 0 games since Bud Day and has an innumerable amount of opinions on it. Yeah, right? Alright, so I'm going to put a Snap on the bottom of my deck here and hopefully draw a removal spell or a counter spell. Oh! Oh, I could have gone for the Gusto and just killed them there, huh? I didn't even think about hitting a counterspell. If we get killed by these Monk and these Mentors, I'm going to be really sad. I'm 8-2 in this format, which makes me better than all the pros. As such, I have a fountain of opinions. Yep. Well, Pyromancer's Ascension is not likely to do anything this turn, so we're just gonna let that one resolve. Just like, want to keep them from interacting with this germ. Today is Stoneforge Mystic Freedom Day. We are currently 4 hours into Stoneforge Mystic Freedom Day. Freedom! Hey, Bolo, thanks for the 9 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one. Cryptic Command, tap my token. To set a bar that's really low, I think Stoneforge is going to end up more playable than... I think Stoneforge is going to end up more playable than Jason Bloodbraid. Yeah, I agree with Bob. I think it's better than both of those cards, but I don't think it's format warping. So I'm taking 20 here. No, I'm only taking 20. We're fine. We're going to 7. And we kill him on the backswing. Yeah, I agree. That was impressive, but not good enough. Oh, they're dead. Yep. Yay! Protection from your stuff. Yay! Always use protection, chat. If you don't use protection, you could end up with Declan. Just saying. Well, that was a quick match pop. So we're 2-1 with our loss being a concession to goblins. Declan is pretty great. You're not wrong. Hey, a lot of people wanted Declans. We wanted a Declan. We wanted a Declan. Declan is great. Yep. I think we need to restart Moto. It's like, yeah, it's been a while since we've played 4 hours of Moto in a row. I'm not gonna do a full shill. These people are great. Maybe consider buying their stuff, but I need to kick Moto in its memory leaking arse. These people also great. Buy their stuff. Waiting for Moto to reload right now. Moto takes a long time to relaunch, even on my SSD. think there's a day where Moto could outlast Arena. I mean, like, I feel like Moto's kind of like the cockroach of software, right? It's been around for forever, and it'll probably be around for the next forever. I don't know what an NVMe drive is, so the answer to your question is no. Am I about to get flippin' Aven Mind censored? I'm about to get Aven Mind censored, aren't I? What an unrealistic tilt. I guess we're pathing this. Is NVMe the little ones? Is that what the little drives are? The not SATA? Is that the connector? Because if so, I have one of those. Do I look like some kind of peasant chat? Of course I have an M2 drive. M2 is what I've heard it called, yeah. You think this is? Moto has encountered a serious error and needs to close. Of course you do, Moto. Of course you crash right after I've just restarted you. They're serious this time. What is dead may never die. Yep. This is the reason why, even if I can stand modern, we generally don't do more than 2 modern leagues most days these days, because, like, hitting this many errors constantly can be frustrating. Had a good run so far, though. One crash in 4 hours and 10 minutes is not bad. How's Stoneforge Mystic been so far? As expected. The leaks keep the crashes at bay. Well, apparently Moto really doesn't like something that's going on in this current game, because it crashed again when I reloaded. This is how WoW Classic is right now. A lot of waiting. Yeah. Yeah. It's mad because you were making fun of it. Yeah, Moto's just like, listen, Jeff. You wanted to do your job today? You got another thing coming. No, we're not going to be, for people who are my regulars, today's going to be all modern. I might do all modern the rest of the week because it's kind of a low point for standard. I like the people who are ignorant to the fact that Magic Online crashes on every platform and somehow try to blame my computer for the reason that this is happening. You can take a 10-minute break and bugger off, though. Trust me when I say I've probably played a lot more Magic Online than you, and this happens everywhere. Oh, that was friendly fire. It's trying to frag Bob. Sorry, Zajed. Let me fix that. And Bob got timed out because he works in IT and understands that issues can happen on certain computers and not others. Marty, your deck was great. Marty, we 3-2'd and it was excellent. It was everything I wanted and so much more. It is so far the deck of the day. You went 3-2 and it was awesome the entire time. Need 2 more cuts here. This is definitely an all removal spells on deck matchup. Maybe Teferi Time Raveler's not good enough. Trim at least one of these. Yeah, 2 D-Spears probably too many. You want me to cut a Stoneforge Mystic? I don't know. Searching. I guess the games are gonna go long. I don't necessarily need this early. A joke? I mean, it might actually be okay. I think it's like Stoneforge or this. Like, drawing these late, like, in games that are gonna go long, like, I'm gonna run out of equipments to fetch with it, and then it's just a 1-2, right? I'm gonna cut a Stoneforge. Came for the hot take on the banner restricted, stayed for the Stoneforge Mystic. Thanks for the 14 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I think this is a mulligan. This hand's much better. What's the motto? Bolt the bird. I was gonna opt, but now we'll do that. They don't have a second land. Seems like it bodes well for the home team. Hold up Stoneforge Mystic or Spell Queller on turn 3 is kind of everything I want to be doing in life. It's probably not good, but it's definitely sweet. Sword of War and Peace, eh? That makes this decision easy. Was anticlimactic. I think, did we spend more time trying to reload Moto from crashes? I mean, we've got Stoneforge Mystic coming up in Vanifear Blade and Devoted Druid. And then Affinity as well, if we have time. We'll see. I'm gonna put some more decks in the title. I'm not sure how many we're gonna get to today, though. We'll see. Again, probably, unless we have like a big viewer boost, I'm probably only gonna go till about 5. Because even Popular Modern is still like, you know, in past 10 hours I start to drag a little bit. And I mean, I got my first paycheck for my big boy job, so I can afford to become a Hooglandy again. I'll take a time out from the Jester to celebrate. Thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. Congrats on landing your big boy job. How many viewers to go to 12? Probably north of 1,700. Like, it would need to be like a big stream. Pacing yourself is important. Article today, I noticed you had Sword of Light and Shadow and everyone else is on Fire and Ice and Famine. What's your thought process for choosing Light and Shadow over the others? Have a sword command. How is Modern banned with the new bans? I don't know, very similar to the Modern without the bans. Instead of just hoping we don't play against graveyard decks, they just don't exist, which is nice. Opt is nice here because I can opt and then snap opt the following turn. Like, one of the things I think a lot of people fail to realize is that, like, even when the Faithless Looting was legal, you could still go entire leagues without playing against those decks. And just playing against people who are playing sweet brews that they like, right? Modern's a format where people follow their heart more than anything else, more than any other format. Modern is like competitive casual in a lot of ways. You appreciate the emote got changed to Twin. Yeah, and if they ever grace us with Twin back, we're gonna change it to Pod. Good lord. It's like 5 lands in a row. Oh, I should have played the Scalding Tarn there, huh? Although I guess I don't really want to shuffle 2 lands I bought him back in. Yeah, I think Dredge is going to be a good deck. Think the leagues combining anything to do with seeing more brews? Nope. I don't actually. I played competitive leagues for a long time, and then we switched to playing friendly leagues for a long time, and there is not a distinct or meaningful difference between the two in my experience. Oh, crap. My opponent played green-white lands, and they mulliganed to 4 that game. What are they playing, chat? I didn't notice how low they mulliganed. Yeah, they're playing Bogles. Well, we got a free game 1, so I guess we'll hope we get a game 2 or 3, but this matchup's pretty impossible for our deck. This matchup is pretty tough. Must be a Voice of Resurgence. I mean, it could be. We would much rather play against Voice of Resurgence. My LGS is 2 people that come most weeks to Reminder Monday. Yeah, yes, what's it called that's a good suggestion. Subtle Wreckage is one of the better cards against them that we can play for sure. Yeah, Burgles, yeah. Yikes. Yep. Shoot him up. What is Ashiok good against? Graveyard decks and decks that search their library. Are we dead? Yeah, probably. I guess I should have put Stoneforge into play there. Batterskull could, like, maybe race. He said jokingly. Like I said, this matchup's basically impossible. If we'd have played game 1 and not gotten a freebie, I'd have just conceded the match, but maybe we'll get lucky and they'll mulligan a bunch here. And take 30 seconds to find out. And this is, again, just a reminder, like, I turned on the Modern Super League last night, like, hoping to see some sweet things, and, like, the match I turned on was Tron versus Valakut, and it was just like, yep, even though Faithless Looting is banned, there's still plenty of, well, that's Modern decks that exist in the format, right? So, like, while we did cut a chunk of the nonsense out, and getting to play against other people playing sweet Stoneforge decks is interesting back and forth a lot of the time, there's still plenty of decks in this format where you're basically just not going to play games of Magic. So, Spreading Seas is potentially a way we can steal a game in this matchup, which is sweet. Their deck tends to be low on land counts, and cutting them off of a color isn't good. They kept 6, Burgle. You mulligan back to 7. Maybe they don't have a second land. Rats, there goes that out. Pass the turn. Pass the turn. Pass the turn. Whoa, they played a card I can interact with. They played a card I can interact with, chat. I feel like death. I assume that's what it feels like to play Stoneforge Mystic in Modern. Yeah, basically. I think we've died. We can never beat them drawing 2 cards per turn, right? Or drawing infinite cards per turn. Red Rover, like Glade Scout come over. Nah, Dead Guy Ale just looks really unimpressive, so I didn't choose to put it in today. I think I'd rather play Abzan. Rip Mardu Pyromancer. Thanks for the 15 months, Fulbert. We can bounce D-Sphere and then snag both of them. That's true. Do I want to give them a turn with both Spirit Dancers? Is a question. I don't think I do. I think I'm just going to pass for now. I think I'd rather hold up Veto plus Queller here. Because they didn't play anything. So, like, their hands either lands or they could have, like, another Daybreak Coronet. It is not Feast and Famine. It is Light and Shadow. Yep. And we just hope to draw an untapped land here. Yep. Like I said, I don't think I'd ever play any iteration of Jeskai at a tournament just because there's too many matches like this where you're just gonna kind of die. That's just like how the fair decks tend to go in Modern, even with cards like Stoneforge Mystic. And like we could definitely like hedge our deck for that matchup, but is there really a reason to do that? Do I want to make changes just for the Bogles matchup and then never see Bogles again for a bunch more matches, right? Like, there's plenty of narrow cards that you can play in Modern that, like, you can beat whatever you want if you really skew your deck, but, like, skewing your deck means you're going to give up percentage points in other places, right? So, like, this is a great example of you see here, I played Rejections, and I played Stony Silences, and I played Ashiok. So I've got a lot of cards here for like big mana decks, and then we didn't play any big mana decks in there, right? And then we hit Bogles, so like, well, do I cut my big mana hate for Bogles hate, and then like hope that my matches line up well? Modern's always been a format where there's just so many decks in the format that, especially when you're playing an interactive deck, you're just like kind of rolling the dice and hoping that your interaction lines up well, and a lot of the time it's just not going to. Yeah, Blessed Alliance is just not a card that you're going to play because it's just much worse than Lightning Helix a lot of the time. Yeah, in general, you'd rather be playing a deck that's asking the questions rather than trying to have the right answers. All right, what are we doing? We're going to roll along to some Vanifier. We're going to play a couple of creature combo decks with Stoneforge Mystic next. Let's get some cards for those. Hey, what's going on, David? No, I'm not down about it at all. Like, I'm just talking about Modern how it is, right? Like, that's what I said there is just like the facts of how Modern works as a format. And like, being upset is like not accepting that and expecting a different outcome is a good way to get upset. Being calm and accepting is a good place to be. All right, so it's been a while since we've done an all-moto stream, so I don't own every card on Magic Online like I do on Arena because there's just so many more cards on Moto, so it'd be very expensive to do it all up front. So I have to place an order with MTGO traders really quick here so we can get some cards from them. In the meantime, if you're looking for something to do while I take 5 minutes and swap some things around here, here's my article on Cool Stuff Inc. that I just went up today talking about the Modern changes. Hey, Marshall Man. Thank you for re-upping for the second month in a row. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, Robots was a last minute ad. I don't have it in the queue. It's just Affinity with Stoneforge Mystic. Maybe Jim Davis, Loxobot style build with Stoneforge Mystic could be decent. That actually sounds really sweet. The Loxobot's deck was a deck that felt really close to competitive, and it felt like it didn't really have a good 2-drop in it. I think the red-black sword is really bad, and it's really silly. If you are connecting with a sword anyways, you can just attack their Planeswalker and kill it regardless of which sword that you have. Basically, every sword gives protection from bolt unless your creature has exactly 1 toughness. So I think I'd rather just have a sword that, like, gets my creatures back or, like, draws me actual cards. What is Loxobot? It's like a Kudaltha Reforged red-white deck that plays the 4/4 Convoke idiot that's in Standard right now. Jim Davis worked on it with some other people for an Invitational last year. It's not Robots with Loxodon Smiter. It's different than traditional Affinity by a good margin. My guess is that the draw to red-black sword is that it swings through Batterskull and breaks it. Sure, but why not just play Sword of Light and Shadow? That swings through Batterskull too. Thanks, Marty. I told you we had a genuinely good set with your deck. Had a genuinely good set with it. He changed the sword command to just play Soul Lash. That could probably be it. You're not wrong. I'm gonna grab a snack while we're waiting here. Look at that. Perfect timing. Yeah, I agree. I don't understand the appeal to the red-black sword. No one's been able to make a compelling argument for why the red-black sword is good. If the red-black sword could destroy creatures, I think it would be worth considering. But the fact that it's only planeswalkers or artifacts makes it pretty narrow and bad, I think.